Hey there, back again for another video. Uh, I yeah, made a doctor's appointment for my injured foot, which I injured in the midst of a meltdown, um, for tomorrow. So that's great. Um, Other than that, as I've said before, I'm in a state of unemployment, and so I've got to volunteer. Um, got some volunteering that I'm going to do this evening, which is exciting because it's for a place called the Estuarium. It's going to be working with the local marine life and educating folks about that, and that's uh, I've never done anything like that before. Well, I used to work at a botanical garden, I guess, but yeah, this is going to be really fun. Um, and also, incidentally, I just got an offer for an interview this week sometime for a school district job I applied for as a health room assistant, with pretty good hours for an autistic person like me. It will be Tuesday to Friday, and I don't think that the days are 8 hours. I think it's 6 or something like that, maybe a little less. So that would be great, and I'm hoping that that might work out. Otherwise, I spoke with DVR and Department of Vocational Rehab um, yesterday, or was it the day before? Well, I definitely spoke with them yesterday too. And I'm really excited because they said that they could help me go back to school and finish my grad degree in therapy, counseling psychology. So that would be awesome because I pretty much just abandoned the goal entirely after I couldn't finish the end of my second year. I was burnt out, and I just thought there's no way I'll ever be able to be a therapist or even finish this coursework, but Department of Vocational Rehab may be able to help me even get accommodations so that I can complete my work, and even help me with employment, with placement after I graduate and stuff. So this is all really fantastic information I didn't know, I didn't have, and I didn't expect to be the case. So ask and ye shall find, I guess, is the saying. But anyway, I'm really excited about these different irons in the fire that I guess I've got going. It's funny because I was trying so hard to keep my life going. And the meltdowns that I was having seemed like such a failure and such an impediment, and it felt so unfair that I had to do the job that I had to do and deal with the kind of stress that I had, and it just felt like an inescapable prison, but it really was a prison of my own making, because really at almost any time I could have initiated this process where I informed my doctor that it was taking this toll on me and contact, DVR and get all this process going to find something that works for me. It's really, really, really great that I have that ability here. I'm again so grateful for it because I know it's not easy to find support for a lot of people in a lot of situations. That said, I wasn't told that officially I was accepted, but they also already have started exchanging helpful emails with me, so it kind of feels like I have been anyway. Or it would just be strange if they started helping me and then they're like, sorry, your case your application was declined. Good luck. That would be really strange, but uh, it's similar to what happened to me when I applied for disability in the past through SSI, the federal government, not the state government. And I could be getting this all wrong. I'm not too savvy with these things, but as far as I recall, I did this application, and I was over the phone with someone who was helping me. She was asking for all this information, and it seemed like, yeah, I was in a situation that warranted some assistance. And when her computer came back that no, I did not qualify, she was really sounded frustrated and like flummoxed, I guess you could say, and yeah, just sorry and disappointed. And that's kind of the state of things in the country for most. Well, I can't say most, I don't really know, but it just seems like those who are applying for assistance now, yeah, whether it's like food assistance or disability, Social Security, at least what I'm seeing on the news or had been, suggests that people, it's just being cut left and right, and accessibility is really declining, and it's being taken away, or was, and now it's starting to actually kick in, and people aren't getting things, and that's definitely happening. So I'm even more grateful that at least right now, knocking on wood, it's good. It's seeming like it's going to be helpful and fruitful, and I'm looking forward to my future at the moment, which is not something I had been doing in the past few years. I sort of realized that I was in escapist mode because I felt like I couldn't escape from my circumstances that I didn't like. So yeah, I would just I wasn't really dealing with it, and when I would think about my future, it just felt sort of like a blank, empty thing that I just gave up on and didn't want to think about anymore. I'll let my cat back in. Hey, bud. But yeah, so it feels really good to be taking my cues from authenticity, from what my body's telling me I need to do, and having the courage to do it. Again, I'm really grateful for the support that I have, because I know that it's in most of my life it seemed impossible to ask for any kind of help. I didn't really. I did most things on my own. Hey, bud. And then I kind of burnt out, and I felt like isolated and mistrustful of everyone around me, mostly, and yeah, I felt unfairly outcast from society. And it's hard when you're neurodivergent to connect with people, and yeah, lots of times you do face forms of rejection just because you're relating in ways that people can't relate to sometimes. And so yeah, I'm really lucky also that I am so introverted, and my special interests and my homebody nature kind of make it so that I don't so much crave those things anymore. But it really is a good thing to have that, to be connected to people. And it's not something that I should or would want to deny anymore, because I saw how hard my life was when I felt like I was doing it completely alone against a hostile environment, a hostile world. Yeah, so my partner Kayla is really, really fantastic, and feel very lucky that we found each other again, because we were friends in college and I moved away and came back, and just by chance we found each other again. And yeah, it's so easy. Like, obviously in any relationship it requires effort, work, vulnerability, honesty, some sacrifice, I guess, but like, there's difficult relationships where it feels like you're forcing it, and then there's relationships where it just happens naturally, and it would almost be like forcing things to avoid each other, if that makes sense. Yeah, we just get along really well, and I didn't really ever... obviously I really hoped that I would find somebody good for me, but I accepted relationships in the past that were like, okay, but I had my doubts and I couldn't speak up for it very well because, I was afraid of hurting those people's feelings, which is really sad and stupid because I just hurt them more by keeping those misgivings to myself. And also just like the fear of being alone. At the time I felt, this isn't perfect, but there were different cases, and different levels of awareness, but I definitely had that feeling for a while that I just was so much more afraid of being alone. And ironically, my life was so chaotic at the time that I sort of forced myself to be alone, because the level of trauma that I was processing really messed with the way that I saw people, and I connected with people that maybe weren't so the best for me, and had trouble having enough self-esteem or boundaries or whatever to show up for myself in those relationships, and not just be bullied or just not being myself, just hanging out with people who like me for the person they think I am. And if I say my real thoughts, they disagree, talk down to me, think I'm naive or whatever. It took me a while to realize that wasn't kind of friendship that I had to accept, because there's 8 billion people in the world, and you can be alone. It's a good thing to be alone, to be comfortable with being alone. But also, when you're ready, I think it is possible to, maybe you could say, manifest, but it takes tangible effort and work, but internally to rearrange your expectations, and also to push your self a little bit. It feels like a risk, but if you can feel that it's a worthy risk, that you're ultimately able to take care of yourself, and that you're not the vulnerable child who, if they are abandoned, can die and stuff like that. You can have an outing with someone and realize that it's not a good fit, and then not hang out with them again, and be no worse for the wear. I couldn't cope with that kind of thing for a long time. Everything felt so personal, I was failing at all these things, and then eventually I got to the point where I was angry at the world for being so difficult. And that went on for a long time, and I didn't feel good. I didn't like it. I didn't like this feeling of being mad at the world, because I started to feel almost like I was a villainous type of a character. I can't remember where I saw this video or some show, or I think it was a YouTube video, where they were talking about heroes and villains in media and movies and stuff, and how the villain was hurt. Here comes my cat. Hey, buddy. How the villain was hurt and wants to make sure that it doesn't happen. No, the villain wants to make sure that it does happen to other people, that other people know how they felt, versus a hero who wants to protect others from experiencing the kind of bad stuff they did. So anyway, I'm gonna let my cat out. There you go. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, there's a big difference in the emotional register of feeling like the world is wronging me personally, and butting up against that, versus recognizing my part in it and recognizing where I have specific ideas about what needs to happen, what should be happening, and it's not looking like that. So there's a part of me that's in resistance, fighting against the discrepancy I see. So yeah, it's actually like that thing people talk about with surrender. The cool thing about the cool thing about the way life shows you what's true is that then you learn what you really are like, what really works for you, and it might be something totally counter or other than what you expected, or just not what you would have thought. So yeah, I mean, like for example, when I was a younger person in my teens and 20s, I wanted to be like a rock star or a famous author or something grandiose like that, and I would put minimal effort. Like, I wrote a few songs, but I didn't really put them out there, or it was mostly just for my own kind of personal therapy, but also just like ego, just, enjoying the dream of being heard and appreciated. And it was actually kind of, it took away from my guitar playing, from music, because for years, I don't know if it was like 20 years, that every time I picked up the guitar, I couldn't just play for myself. I was playing for an imaginary audience. And the times in there when I could let that go would be so, you could say, transcendent and like really beautiful, certainly in the way that it felt to be playing, and it was very therapeutic. And then there were times when I recognized that something musically really nice came out and I should record it, but I didn't want to stop the flow, so I just wouldn't. And I could push against that, or I can just go with what is seeming to be the truth of my life, which is that I pick up the guitar sometimes and I enjoy it a lot, and it feels good, and I put it down, and it doesn't have to be anything more than that. I don't have to put my ego's beliefs about what will be the best possible thing, because then that becomes the one thing that I think should happen. I don't even want the second best thing. I don't even think about what that would be. So being able to have a hobby that helps you clear out emotions is fantastic, and that doesn't have to be anything more than that. So anyway, that's just one small example of resistance versus, I don't know if I want to use the word surrender, but like taking cues from life, and owning up to what it's really telling you, even though it might not match what you want your life to look like. And that's a process. It's not overnight always. I mean, I don't know if it's ever overnight. It wasn't for me. I have journals full of just like rage, of just me writing my frustrated rage about how unfair everything was. And lots of drawings too of just like pure rage. And it felt good to do at the time. I don't regret any of it. It's part of the human experience. And of course I don't like it when I feel that way. I don't want to like invite it, but I have this little like flip book with like different quotes, and one of them I like and I think about a lot said something to the effect of happiness lurks beneath misery, and misery lurks beneath happiness. It's probably a little more eloquent than that, but yeah, they are different sides of the same coin. And like the yin and yang, there's like a little bit in each of the other one. So yeah, it is what it is. It's not perfect, but like we're still here, and it's still happening. So yeah, I'm just here and trying to go with the flow in a smart way, actualizing the things that my body, my heart, my gut tells me are important, like applying for jobs and contacting DVR and making doctor's appointments. But yeah, these are all just things that arose naturally and were easy to do once I saw that they are necessary. And you don't have to do them like immediately. You can like I can give myself a break and do it like in a few hours or the next day or after I like eat a snack or do something I enjoy. But I'm finding ways to work with myself because I had to accept that I'll never be a perfect person. I will always, on some level, be challenged in some way. And yeah, so thanks for being here again. I hope the sound is okay. I have a little noisemaker going, and I also tried to wait until later in the day so there'd be no breakfast blenders and stuff. But yeah, I hope you're having a great time wherever you are and whatever you're doing, and I'll see you next time.